Coming up today on Let Her Shoot, Kim Caldwell's stock is falling, Kara Lawson's stock is rising, and women's hoops as hot as hell. I have an update. Yeah, Lane Kiffin has responded.
Oh, God.
Plus, Trista tries to give UCLA their flowers, sort of.
Because I always say, I'm never wrong, I'm just early.
Fresh show coming at you in 3, 2.
Who's that girl? That's me. I'm on fire. I'm a hot girl. I'm a hot girl. I get anything I want. This is my world. I make big moves in my big heels. Since the day that I was born, I've been a big deal.
Welcome to Let Her Shoot, the only podcast that covers women's sports the way that we want them covered. No bullshit. Literally. I mean, I just put myself right on the train tracks and tied myself up. Just women's sports the way that we want them covered. No kid gloves. Just respect for the athletes. Respect for the athletes' parents, too. Kia. We're respecting Kia at this time. We're not going to make any comments about Kia Brooks, Flage's mom, and what she did, even though the Studbuds went on record and said she needs to chill out. Yeah, you didn't see that?
I didn't see that, no.
The Studbuds said you need to chill out, girl.
Which funny, by the way, coming from the Studbuds. It
was. Trista Crick here, the chaos agent, zero-time Emmy Award-winning zero-time Emmy Award-winning, nominated, considered talent. I think we kind of know why, right? No one's giving this girl an Emmy. You know what I mean? If you're liking our stuff on, that's what makes me charming. If you're liking our stuff on YouTube or in any place, go to YouTube, iHeart, wherever you get your podcast. Follow us on TikTok. Follow us on Instagram at the Daily W Sports. Follow us on Threads as well. We're starting to pick up a little momentum on Threads. Hit the hype button. Go to Spotify. Go to Apple. Go to any app that has podcasts in the audio form and just click follow. Tell a friend that likes women's sports. It's closing. The margin is closing.
Time.
What could be the point spread of the Bruins and Huskies? It could be like 4 or 5. It could be like 4 or 5. Honestly, depending on the location.
After that Husky Villanova game the other night, I'm a little nervous.
Yeah, I mean, okay, that first half was rough. But, it's not even about UConn looking vulnerable. UCLA is just beating the fuck out of everybody every time. It's just I don't know, just Lauren Betts with 26, 11.
I know.
2 blocks, whatever her last stat line is. I'm just thinking about this off the top of my head. For all the fucking people who are on our ass, let's just get it right. 23, 8, 2 blocks. Shot 73% from the field. They beat the hell out of Indiana, 92-48. Really beat the hell out of Michigan State, who was the ranked 13th, 86-63. I mean, it's a demolishment. I don't even know. You can't even count how many W's they have in a row because it's just all green W's looking on the ESPN game log. So I am a little bit concerned that UCLA might put up a bigger fight than I thought against UConn. But we're going to have to see. I caution myself, Sarah, to fall back and fall off my spot because I always say I'm never wrong, I'm just early. Just hang around a little bit.
So you still stay 10 toes down, but you're just on your tippy toes a little bit. Your heels
Yeah. That's right. I still think UConn is a dominant team. But stop messing around in the first half against Villanova in the Big East. Otherwise, I'm going to have to start knocking you down a couple of pegs.
Otherwise, we're going to have to start talking about y'all on this podcast.
I know. And I love UConn, as you know. Geno, by the way, I got into the Geno comment section. Did you see he got nominated for Coach of the Year? And he had on they took a little photo of him. And Paige said, not gonna lie, Geno looked fly AF in this photo.
Oh, yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
And I put on there, I don't think you saw when I commented. I don't know how many likes this has. But I said, not gonna lie, Zaddy energy.
You said once that you had a crush on Geno, and I've never forgotten that moment.
Yo, I would 1,000% let Geno hit. 1,000%.
Is it the chakra
We should
beads?
probably edit that out, or maybe not. But if I saw Geno at the bar, and it wasn't even Geno, but it was just Geno's energy and success level, we're gonna work out this therapy session and how I make decisions with the men that I've been with. But older, successful, swaggy, charismatic, charming men, we women that are into men, unlike yourself, Sarah, that's fucking code red for us. It's a panty
daddy
dropper.
issues.
It's big time daddy issues. That's why I said he had Zaddy energy. All right, let's move on before I tell my whole life on this podcast. What are we talking about today? We have to talk about Kim Caldwell crashing out, don't we?
We talked about Geno being nominated for Coach of the Year, so we're going to talk coaches in this episode.
Ooh,
there are...
segue.
You're welcome. Kim Caldwell, not on that list of Coach of the Year.
It's closing time for Kim Caldwell.
But there is one that we mentioned early on in the season that is on that list that we're going to have to rub your face in a little bit. But Kara Lawson has had quite a comeback, so we're going to talk about that. Kim Caldwell is coming off what I think is arguably probably one of her worst losses since taking over at Tennessee.
You know, in Traitors, where they have that challenge, and the challenge is like 3 open graves, and like they put you inside the grave, and then you don't know and then they put you inside the coffin, and then they nail it shut, and then you don't know whether you're gonna get the coffin opened for you or not.
Sure.
Like Kim Caldwell is in one of those coffins right now.
Yeah.
Kim
Caldwell's seat is toasty. But
it's been weird, Sarah. Why don't we lay out like what's been going on in these last 12 months?
Yeah. Let's start at the beginning. Last February 6th specifically, so almost a little over a full year ago, Kim Caldwell and the Tennessee Volunteers have arguably probably their biggest win in the program in maybe since the Pat Summitt days, when they took down number 1 UConn. It was their only loss the entire season. UConn has not lost since that game. And everyone thought this is the moment that Tennessee has re-arrived. This is Kim Caldwell solidifying her role with this team, saying, this is my team now. This is my identity. She came in with a new sort of
buzz.
What's the word I'm looking for? What?
Like a buzz.
Philosophy. That was the word I'm looking for. Her coaching philosophy is sort of that like young, cause a lot of turnovers, get a lot of points off transition. People were excited about the pace of it.
Like 94 feet, picking up 94 feet, trapping you all game long, stifling defense, and that leading to easy offense. Janiah Barker coming over from UCLA. That was a huge one. Like everybody was very excited about that get.
Yep, they were coming off a Sweet 16 appearance. We were feeling like Rocky is back on top.
Ooh. Wow. So impressed.
So impressed. Did you like that?
Yeah, no, I was.
Did you like that? But very early, before the season even started, we started to see a couple cracks in the armor. Ruby Whitehorn gets arrested, gets dismissed off the team. We talked about it at the time. One arrest, there were 2 arrests. It was kind of weird. One was for weed possession. So she gets arrested.
She kicked in the door and kicked in the bedroom door and the front door. To get her stuff from the crib.
Apparently, according to, and we don't know, but allegedly she was trying to get her phone back from an ex-girlfriend or something along the lines.
And her passport.
There was something going on. Lesbian breakups can be very intense.
You know how they are. Sometimes it's a poetry book, and sometimes it's domestic battery. Listen, the wide range of lesbian breakups, that's the spectrum here.
Anyway, so Ruby gets dismissed. There's a lot of conversation on whether or not that was the right move, the wrong move. Not my place to judge or say. They come out, they beat Stanford early, and then some of these little paint chips start to wear off. They won 6 SEC games in a row, but now have lost 5 of the last 7. And as that has happened, we've seen Kim Caldwell unraveling a bit.
Unraveling's a great word, truly.
I told you I don't like the word meltdown.
I know you said that. I think unraveling is just as bad as meltdown. It's just less used.
Meltdown just carries more of a misogynistic like energy, and I feel like unraveling is like less misogynistic.
Okay, she's definitely unraveling.
She's a woman, but she is unraveling.
She's unraveling. It's not a good look. On top of the fact that she said all those things about her kids and their student athletes, like these kids have quitting them. All they do is quit. They lay down. They stay down. Why? Got to ask them, instead of being like, I don't know, got to ask me. Got to ask me. I don't know why I'm not motivating them to be more resilient. And so, then you've got the loss to Texas, where you probably had your best game in terms of like your best fight in you.
Yep.
Then you lose to Ole Miss, and you won't even shake the hand of Coach Yo, who's one of the more beloved coaches in the SEC. Ole Miss was a bath mat for a long time. They were the Arkansas for a while of the women's basketball, and now they've really stepped up their game. They look very tough. They're playing a bunch of teams just like they did against LSU last night, tough, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So, I mean, it's just, it feels a little, and we've come to the end of the road. And I don't know why, other than the fact that like the smoke is starting to appear.
Kim Caldwell, like, I want to give her a lot of grace because to my understanding, and I don't know, but as you've seen in the SEC, it just means more. And certain schools
we're just here,
certain schools are just there. But certain universities in the SEC is like, and I went to one of these schools, so I can say this, but athletics take precedent over everything else at that school. And that's just the way it goes. And Tennessee gives, there are certain programs with Tennessee that there's a lot of legacy in that program. And when that program is struggling, it does not matter who the coach is. It does not matter what games they're winning. It does not matter what they're doing. All that is being seen is you have a lot of red in the L column and not a lot of green.
And a lot of like clips about you that are not painting you in a good light.
And that's exactly. And I do think there was another quote from her last night after the Texas A&M game where she said, let me pull it up.
The Texas A&M loss.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You're right.
No, but I mean, like, I just wanted everyone to know for the record that was another L.
It was a loss. It wasn't a giant loss, but Texas A&M is not good. So any loss to that team as a ranked favorite going into the game is not a good loss. But so Kim Caldwell says, I think that all of our errors are at the end of the day on me. And I think that's understood. I think that comes understood with being in this responsibility.
Dog.
Does that feel a little like, yeah, no, it's all on me?
I'm going to need all the Dawn Staley ride or dies who think that I just hate on people. Like, listen, just note this. Kim Caldwell is getting put on the hibachi, okay? And she deserves it.
And what I was getting at was Knoxville press is brutal. And when you search Kim Caldwell right now, all of the headlines are like, Caldwell on hot seat. Is Caldwell's job in jeopardy? Like,
when you make it to the Knoxville press in women's basketball for bad things, and the question is if you're on the hot seat, that's obviously bad. But like, girl, diva, what we cannot do is switch up, baby. Listen, it's giving I know I effed up. And now I got to course correct.
Yeah.
You said the team was soft. and they laid down and stayed down and they quit and you didn't know why, but now the errors are on you? Baby girl,
It's too late for that.
I don't believe you. I don't believe that's what you feel or think at all. After that South Carolina loss, that we talked about how Dawn responded to Kim Caldwell's lack of accountability and throwing her team under the bus. Like, to come back and do this is insane. It's crazy to me. So, like, take a step back and just, I'm going to tell you what I'm hearing.
Okay.
I'm hearing that Coach Kim Caldwell is kind of acting like she's ruling with an iron fist or acting like she's some hard-nosed coach. But I'm hearing that players are not showing up to practice or leaving practice early. And what happens to them when they do that? Nothing. They still play in the game the next day. And that people are looking around like, well, what's up with that? You had suspended Ruby Whitehorn, and now you're doing this. I've heard that this team was conditioning in a way that ran their bodies down to the ground before SEC play even began. And there were rumblings about, this is just kind of BS. I'm tired. I don't like this. This is not what I'm used to. And so you've got players clearly. Do you know how much you don't respect a coach to piece out of a practice before practice ends?
I would have literally. I would have never done that.
In women's sports? I don't know. I think women in general, young women, are a little bit more respectful of the system than young men who are stars. I just think that's
probably
very clear, right? Yeah. And maybe that's my latent bias. But for a women's team to leave a storied program and practice, they are not fucking with you. They don't respect you. It's bad. It's like so bad. And I don't think it's really even being covered.
Imagine that happening at UConn. Imagine years
didn't
from
you
now,
see
Geno's retired and we hear that UConn players are skipping out on practice.
Didn't you hear what Nafisa Collier just said? We beat a team by 30 and he kicked us out of the locker room. He said, you need to be, all your stuff needs to be cleared out by 6 a.m. He let them sit in the in the practice court for an hour and then made them run over and over and over until they figured out what they had done wrong when they beat a team by 30. That's the difference.
I saw a question online and I wanted to ask you this because I thought this was interesting. How many games can Texas drop and Kim Caldwell still
Tennessee?
Here we
go again.
I know it's that.
Here we go again.
By the way, I want to apologize. I want to apologize.
It is your fault.
To the Kashunity. Your fault. It is because I said that Andrea Carter went to Texas. I got the UT orange, burnt orange, and the highlighter orange confused in my head. We were talking about them both, but I will not make that mistake again.
Freudian slipped, and then I went on with it because I'm brain dead while I'm on the road. Anyway, we're sorry. All of that to say, this is probably, I would not be surprised if Kim Caldwell got fired.
Yeah, but I was going to say, that's where I was going with this. Look at their schedule. Their schedule is absolutely brutal coming down here at the end. They have Oklahoma next, then LSU, then they finish with Vanderbilt. I think they lose their last 3 games.
Yeah, definitely.
And then they go into the SEC tournament. Who knows how far they get there? Does Tennessee need to make a run to the Sweet 16 or deeper for Kim Caldwell to keep her job?
I don't know if it's saleable. I don't know.
If she goes to the Elite 8, maybe, but that team's not going.
She's not going to the Elite 8. That's not happening. I'm not ready to put my beating heart on it where you can rip it out of my chest and kill me if she doesn't go to the Elite 8. But I'm willing to, a tattoo on the elbow. You could put a game.
No, not the elbow.
Gamecock to the elbow.
No.
Spider web.
You know who I'd love to see coaching at Tennessee, though?
Oh, here we go. Go on. Do it. Do it.
Kara Lawson.
Oh, here we go.
We have to talk. We have to talk.
This is the last time I was in LA, by the way. See, I say crazy shit when I'm on the road. Go ahead.
You do. You say crazy shit when you're in LA.
Go ahead.
You look pissed. You look pissed in this clip.
But what I'll say is this. I hate
that audio's
tough. I really do.
It's great acting.
Or get ready. No, it's not. Is Kara Lawson locked in to coaching Duke basketball? Okay. Stop right there. That's fine. That's fine. I think I'm a little concerned. I said stop. This team stinks. They don't look prepared. Duke has like 3 wins. I think it's more now. But zero quality wins. No, they don't. Or 3 and 6, I think. 3 and 5.
Something that we, and I think our Christianity values about us, is that we like to admit when we're wrong.
I don't like doing that.
I actually hate admitting when
Actually, I don't like. I was hoping that would never see the light of day. The audio was very tough to hear because it was echoey, so I'm not sure what was really said. Truly. But what I will say,
you said, I don't think Kara Lawson is locked into coaching Duke because, okay. You got it from there.
Yeah. I said that they were dead too. I think I said that.
Dead on the doorstep, I think is what you said.
I'm gonna say this. Yeah, that was a horrible take. Like really, really bad. Like bad. But they didn't look good. Even what they were playing.
Terrible.
How they were playing wasn't great. Toby Fournier, I've been a fan of since last year. She started off, having a really, really tough year. Kind of inconsistent. They, that loss to West Virginia hurt a lot. The loss to USF hurt a lot. But now she's really been, outside of the UNC game, coming to play. Had 26 points, 12 rebounds, and a block against NC State last night. She had 26 and 6 against SMU. She had 14 and 11 against Wake. She's just been a beast. I really love the way she plays too. I think she's so versatile. I think she's found her rhythm. I'm not sure what Duke was up to start the year, but we're talking about one of the greatest runs in season.
They have not lost a game since you said that on our show.
No, that's right. That's true.
They've not lost a game. They've
literally
not since that moment.
Was against the LSU, so they got blown out to LSU. I said that.
And they have not lost since.
They haven't lost in the month of December, January, or February.
They are playing exceptional basketball right now.
And they're beating teams that they should be beating and beating teams that you're like, oh, that's a close call. They killed Notre Dame. That was kind of when I was like, And I was like, oh, maybe Notre Dame's not that good.
Exactly. We don't know how to measure Notre Dame.
They squeaked by Louisville. They've just been quietly racking up dub after dub after dub after dub after dub. And I actually love the way that Kara has been communicating how this has gone and what their process. She said, there's truths in this sport, and the truth is in the tape. And the truth is in what you see and what you put in every day. That's the only thing that's true. Whether we win or lose, how people think about us and what they say about us, none of that is true. But when we're focused on the process and we're focused on fixing what we're doing in film every day and putting that to practice on the court. Like, you don't know when you're going to get out of the adversity. You're either in a season of adversity or you're in a season of prosperity. And every day you wake up and say, are we out of it yet? Are we out of it yet? And now they're out of it, baby. And you never know, how long the prosperity is going to last either. But I'm going to tell you this. We watched Duke last year put on a show against in the tournament against South Carolina. They played in the Elite Eight and beat them 54-50. And that was when I want to say there was some coaching controversy. They couldn't get the ball out of the sideline, out of bounds play. Raven turned them over. And then you had a free throw game. It was very frenetic to end that game. But to compete at that level with South Carolina shows you what Duke's upside has been and I thought would be entering the season. And it just took them, a little bit in order to get back to that. So I do say, Kara Lawson, you're welcome for inspiring this team.
Oh, I can't with you.
And I'm happy to show up and do whatever dirty work I need to do to get you out of the season of adversity that you were currently in. And now, I'm like, I can bring prosperity just by putting dirt on the grave.
By throwing dirt, by picking up a handful of dirt.
Toby Fournier averaging 18 points per game, 17.5 points per game.
So
averaging 8 rebounds per game, 2 blocks per game.
Because Duke right now, quietly, very, very quietly, I think is sitting in 9th, ranking-wise.
They're going to be a 2 seed, I think. Very
quietly in 9th. I don't really see anyone in the ACC being able to challenge them in the tournament.
In the ACC tournament? No.
Yeah, ACC is horrific for the most part.
Bottom
half of the ACC is really bad.
It's not a great conference, no.
No. But
why did you guys decide to use that tape why did you guys decide to bring that tape back?
Because it's fun.
Okay.
My question for you is, we saw them play early on, right? Like they had a really front-loaded schedule. Duke did. They played Baylor, UCLA, LSU all in the first month. They lost all those games. Obviously, we know that's what we were looking at the beginning. Do you think if those games were played today or going into the tournament, do you think that they're being underlooked because they've so quietly been dominating in the ACC and haven't really had another national stage game?
It's overlooked.
Underlooked?
Yeah.
Overlooked. They're going to be overlooked going into that.
Underrated, overlooked.
Underrated. Thank you.
Yeah, they really haven't played anyone where you can say, they had 3 mollywops against ranked teams. They played South Carolina, UCLA, and LSU back to back to back. That's a tough stretch.
And Baylor at the beginning of the season.
Baylor at the beginning, yeah. In Bonjour, Petty. Au revoir. And that was actually a game I think like they probably should have won, and we talked about that a long time ago. But congratulations to Kara. I honestly think she's done a tremendous job. The team could have, as Kim Caldwell would have said, had a lot of quitting them. But when you win 16 straight, they're probably going to go undefeated the rest of the year after that LSU loss. So I'm excited to see what they show up looking like against SEC competition once they get into the tournament.
My last thing I'll say on this, and then we'll move on, is that I think it's a real mark of a coach when a team improves or
yes,
which direction they go as the season goes on. It says a lot more about the coach than it does about the players, in my opinion.
It does.
So you mentioned Coach Yo, Coach Kim, Mulkey, not Caldwell, played each other last night. And what was it turned out being a bigger spread in the end than it was. And it felt most of that game. LSU had a huge fourth quarter. They completely put the brakes on Ole Miss in order to come back and win 78-70. How do you measure that win? I mean, that was like
24-7 in the fourth quarter and not a single bucket for Ole Miss. They were 0 for 17 in the fourth quarter. They were down almost double digits going into the fourth and end up winning by 8. That's just one hell of a comeback. You know, you basically have a 17-point turnaround right there. And what I thought was really interesting was Kim Mulkey's adjustments. And for those who were not aware, or at least like didn't get the picture of what I was saying last episode, I thought Kim Mulkey got out coached. I thought that the problems that LSU has is not on personnel. It's the fact that stars love playing for Kim Mulkey because she plays an NBA style of basketball, ISO heavy, not a lot of back cutting, not a lot of movement with the basketball, and that'll kill you in a tournament setting, and it'll kill you against a more disciplined team. That's on her. That is a Kim Mulkey problem. So if you need me to say it directly, I will. Now, in this game, I thought she did one hell of a job coaching and making adjustments. I'm not sure what she saw to bench Michaela Williams, who, as you guys know, I love. The only jersey I have is a Michaela Williams jersey right now. We'll get more. But she went big and played Joyner and Kate Koval at the same time. And watching that fourth quarterback again, Ole Miss just couldn't get anything going in the paint. They were getting blocked. They shut them down. They couldn't get anything around the rim. I watched it, and I was like, I cannot believe they didn't make a single bucket. I know that they won't, and I still can't believe my mind as I'm watching it back. And your Flage came to play, but also Malaysia scored a team high, and she was electric as well. Anyway, Grace Knox and Coach Yo. Coach Yo kind of came after Grace Knox had to be held back. Coach Yo got big-time Twitter fingers. So right after the game, well, actually at 5:52 a.m., she gave a long diatribe on Twitter about how proud she was of her team. And to juxtapose that against Kim Caldwell, who's throwing the team under the bus, she basically said, listen, no one left the floor saying women's basketball sucks. You saw 2 teams leave it all on the floor. What I was most proud of concerning my group was that there were no excuses made. We know the challenges we have faced, and we will be better for it at the perfect time. Thanks to all that are on this journey with us. #no ceilings. And I was like, wow, how beautiful is it that Coach Yo is so genteel, so respectful, so like, this is why we love Coach Yo. Like, no pettiness, right? Like, unlike other coaches. And then all of a sudden, like an hour before we recorded, Coach Yo comes onto Twitter again and says, have y'all ever heard of a football coach tagging a women's basketball coach after a game? This guy doesn't even like women's sports. Cope harder, #Golding era, which I think was a comment around Lane Kiffin. Must have added her or commented at her on Twitter. I don't know. Didn't see it, couldn't find it, but there's beef.
I have an update. I have an update. Yeah, Lane Kiffin has responded.
Oh, God.
I don't know exactly, because I think there were a couple back and forth. Coach Yo also at one point said, nah, he woke up tweeting me and he knows I have the files, so he should stop while ahead. What does Coach Yo have on Lane Kiffin? I got questions. And then Lane Kiffin quote tweets and says, clap, clap. The change you have brought to Ole Miss is amazing. I remember the first year. You have built it into a premier program in the country.
Well, the files that she's talking about was that she struck him out in slow pitch softball. I think they might love each other. I don't know. I don't know what this is.
I kind of love that. I kind of love. First of all, Lane Kiffin was going to come up earlier in the show because I was going to say, is Kim Caldwell giving a little bit of like Lane Kiffin at Tennessee era? You know, that like
leave in the middle of the night.
Offense, that like comes and everyone's all excited, and then he just crashes and burns, and then he just gets thrown out of the plane in the middle of the night. That's what it was giving.
This is tremendous content. Honestly,
I need to know more about this Lane. I need to know what he said. Also, he's also, by the way, I was unaware of this, but apparently Lane Kiffin, giant women's basketball tweeter, because he has like,
we need him on.
Okay,
we need him on. We need him on the pod.
We need Lane Kiffin on this podcast.
We need him on the pod. We need him. As LSU fans, I think we can make it happen. This is crazy. This is just women's sports is tremendous.
I love how intense these battles are becoming.
Yeah, me too. They're getting personal. I love it. She said co-parter. Oh my God. Co-parter is wild. These are grown adults, coaches. Co-parter is crazy. Love Coach Yo, though. We have to talk really fast about ESPN quickly.
Yeah.
Finally investing in putting women's sports on primetime. They put the LSU South Carolina game, as we know, on ABC during primetime. That was the first time they ever did that.
2.2 million viewers at its peak going up against. I actually don't know what was on the Olympics at the time because I wasn't watching it, but the Olympics were on.
And the All-Star weekend.
The NBA All-Star game. And
not the game, but yeah.
Yeah, NBA All-Star. 2.2 million people at its peak tuned in. It was the fourth most watched regular season women's college basketball game on ESPN in history.
Wow.
Regular season game. Just a regular matchup. And that's exactly what we should have. And we're going to be getting more of it Sunday nights next year. ESPN is going to have
WNBA, NWSL
on primetime Sunday nights.
I'm glad that we know where something is all the time. That's the problem, I think, with women's sports is like it just is always switching up. The days and the times are switching up. The networks are switching up. There's no like, hey, Sunday nights be here. This is what it is.
I also cannot stress how important it is to have primetime Sunday night, like nationally syndicated representation, because so many people who are like, oh, well, it's on Prime or it's on Paramount or it's on, I don't have Prime or Paramount.
People are mad that it's even on ESPN and not on ABC because you still have to have cable.
But if you open that up to everybody being able to watch, ESPN's a lot easier to watch than a lot of programming than Paramount. So really excited to see Trinity Rodman on some Sunday night primetime.
How about Coy Bethune?
Imagine a world where we get like a Fever Sky game and then like a double header immediately with like a Gotham Washington game.
Are you excited to see Coy Bethune as well?
No, I'm not excited to see Coy Bethune. I'm so upset.
How about Sam Coffey also is gone? So Portland and DC pour a little out for us. Can't wait for the NWSL.
At least you get Sophia back.
At least we get Sophia back. I'm excited. I'm going to be tuned in. The summer. If the summer is for the ladies, then what the hell has the winter been? Because it has been nonstop, Sarah. Also, shout out to women's USA winning the gold in figure skating and in hockey. What an electric game that hockey match was.
Oh my God, so
Holy
good.
shit. Shout out to Sam, Sarah's fiance. Pour a little out for her because Canada thought they had it and they didn't.
No.
Nutmeg that bitch.
I was waiting for her to come running out. And
Nutmeg that bitch. I was so stoked. I was so pumped.
But Alyssa Liu, gold. Amber Glenn ends up, was it fifth?
Doesn't medal. I just knew that.
Doesn't medal. But she had a great free skate performance coming back and proved a lot of people wrong. It was a beautiful skate. Alyssa Liu, so happy for her. I love, by the way, the most dub club thing I've ever seen, and Alyssa Liu in the dub club, I will say. Oh, as she's coming off the ice, she says, looks directly at the camera, and goes, "That's what I'm fucking talking about." Live
Let's
on air.
normalize the Daily W is a place where we normalize the F-bombs for athletes and those who talk about sports, because there's just nothing more like real and passionate than like, that's what I'm fucking talking about. Let's go.
Yeah,
Go
like
ahead,
who
let's-
cares that it's figure skating and it's supposed to be like beautiful and great? Like, I want to see the winner look at the camera and say, "Let's fucking go."
Also, Johnny Weir and Tara Lipinski, it's not like some sort of shock to me that you're still in traders until the Olympics are over and you've gone to the finale. I know that shit's rigged. I'm very certain of it, and I'm happy that you stuck around.
I don't mind it. I love having them on
I don't
TV.
mind it either. I love them.
All right, give us a close.
All right, Sarah, great show. I'm sure there's going to be some stuff left on the cutting room floor because there was a lot of back and forth and fact checking. We're trying to be better. Don't let facts get in the way of a good story. As we always say, Sarah, if you're liking our stuff, find us on YouTube, subscribe, chat, hit us up. Who did we miss? Did we say enough about UConn squeaking by Vanderbilt or no? Should we be worried? We did give a shout out to UCLA. We have been checking the boxes. I did give love to Dawn Staley, who I think is the GOAT.
I also just want to say, I do still love Dawn Staley, even though you have some beef.
I don't have any beef. I just think when you're an LSU fan, it's just you don't like the coaches of the other teams.
If you were a real LSU fan like me.
Yeah, like me. Yeah, like a long-time, lifelong Tiger. You know what I mean?
Tiger. Go Tigers.
Go. I am year of the Tiger, 1986. Anyway, love you, chat. Keep the hate out your heart. I'm coming down to Old Dominion. They told me I can't even go down to South Carolina and watch a game. They said, keep her hating ass out of here. Bullshit. Anyway, love y'all. We'll see you next time. And as always, Sarah, 1, 2, 3.